Hello again, everyone. I'm going to carry on again. I'm still messing about with this debossing business, but I was thinking to myself, in the previous videos that I made, I debossed an old background that I didn't like very much, and then I coloured the flat part, not the bit that was actually debossed, the surface part. But today I was wondering if I could kind of still keep working on the debossed side, but this time colour the actual leaves. They are the ones that were left the colour of the card, and this is the colour, the part of the design that I went over with the ink pad. So what I want to try and do today is add some Versamark to this raised side. I'm going to put it in on the debossed direction, so that the right side of the card is facing the back of the embossing folder. And I'm going to then, once it's got the Versamark on, add some embossing powder. Let's see how we go. I don't know if this is going to work. It might be a total flop, but I thought I would record it in any case, just in case it works. So I'm just going to tap lightly over this side of the embossing folder, because I want the Versamark, or sticking whatever embossing ink you have, to stick to the raised parts, which are the leaves. And I'm not pressing too hard because I don't really want it to go on that bit there, but you know, some probably will, but we'll have a go at getting it off later. So I'm going over a few times just to try and make sure I've got some Versamark on those leaves. It looks kind of shiny, so let's hope that's okay. Right, this is going to go in that way up. I'm going to take out my bits and pieces. It's really hard to get these embossing folders through, and I found that the open end first is kind of easier than the closed end. Normally I would put the hinged end first, but if it's so tough that you know you're having trouble getting it through, the open end often helps. So let's find one of these plates, and through we will go. Gosh, it is difficult, but not so difficult that I think it's going to damage the machine. Okay, now let's have a look at our piece of card. So as before, I'm working on the debossed side. Let's get a bit of scrap paper. Now I've dug out 3 bits of embossing powder. This one I've never used. It is a twinkly gold from Nuvo. This is a very, 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 very old Verdigris Personal Impressions. This one, had it for so long. And this one is, I don't think I've used this either. Is it still covered in? Yeah, I think it's still covered in plastic. This is one of the Tim Holtz Distress Embossing Glazes, which is kind of a bit translucent. And the colour of this one is peeled paint. So I'm wanting the leaves to have the colour. Okay. Oh, it's still... Ooh, there we go. So I've got that peeled paint embossing glaze. I've got this Verdigris embossing powder, and this twinkly gold embossing powder. Okay, what I'm going to do, this will be wasted. Whatever I'm using will be wasted, unless I use it mixed for something else, because I'm going to put a little of each on these leaves. So let's start with a little of the embossing glaze. I don't know. I've got no idea if this is going to work at all. Just put a bit on, because you should be able to still see the colour of this background through the embossing powder. Right, let's have that one for the minute. I'm going to put a little bit of the gold one. I'm going to try and put this on the acorns. Where are they all? Is that all of them? I can't see. I'll put a little bit elsewhere. A bit more on that one. Just a tiny bit. Now I'm going to use some of the Verdigris, and then I'm going to put that one all over everything again. So let's try a little of this. These ideas, I'm afraid they don't always work out as one would hope, but you know, if you don't try, you don't know, do you? So it's always my policy is have a go and see. Who knows what will happen? Okay, well, it looks quite nice at the moment, but what's going to happen when I start to heat it is anybody's guess. Right, let's put a little bit more of this, just a tiny bit. I'm holding my breath here. Okay, let's try that. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a jiggle. What do we think? I'm going to put this back on, the stuff that's come off, and try again. Let's just see. Whatever gets to the embossing ink first is generally the one that will grab its place. Okay. Now, there may be some tiny bits on the flat bit, but I can probably just rub that off with my finger. Doesn't look too bad. Now, this one, in case I use another one, I'll move it somewhere else, but I can't put it back in because it's a mix of the verdigris of this and a bit of the gold. So I can use it as is for something, but I can't put it back in the pots. I'm going to put the lids on these, and I think I'm going to heat this from underneath because I don't know how tightly the embossing powder has adhered to the Versamark. So if I heat it from underneath, I won't blow it away. It'll just heat up. Well, I don't know what you think, but I think that is absolutely wonderful. I just think that is terrific. When you look back and see what that bit of awful background was like, if you go back to the beginning of the video and see what it was like, I think that is absolutely fabulous. And I haven't used this hardly at all. This I must have had for, I don't know, 12, 15 years, I suppose. Something like that. Really long time. This one I haven't really used much, but the delicacy of it, don't you think that's terrific? Well, I think that's another one. Debossed heaven. Goodness me. People are still, I'm just changing the subject. People are still saying to me that they're keeping getting unsubscribed. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Perhaps they don't want my channel to flourish. I don't know, but they keep on. People's subscriptions keep being unsubscribed. So if you don't mind checking, it would be wonderful. If you haven't subscribed in the first place, that would be great too. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And for those of you who have kept checking and resubscribing, I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so, so much. But look at that. I didn't think it would be as good as really. Whoa. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to have to make some cards now, aren't I? I'll see you tomorrow.